You know that feeling you got as a kid when you got clothes for Christmas? Remember how disappointed you were because you'd been waiting for Christmas for a really long time and you thought it was going to be really cool, but it just ended up being hand-me-down pajamas? Well, with the brilliant use of segues, we can connect this to gaming. The ending to a video game should be climactic, wrap up the story well, be entertaining or at least informative, and leave the player with a sense of satisfaction. This countdown, however, will not include any such examples. For this list, I've selected what I believe to be the 10 worst endings to video games ever created. Now, keep in mind that I'm not only taking into account the ending cutscenes, but the final boss as well. And the best part is... there are no rules! That's right, no play before put rule, and no one per franchise rule. Why, do you ask? I think you'll find out soon enough.
This is Spartan 117. Can anyone hear me? Over.
Isolate that signal. Master Chief, you mind telling me what you're doing on that ship?
Sir, finishing this fight.
As I've mentioned a number of times, the Pokemon series will always be near and dear to my heart. I'll never forget that exuberant feeling I got when I played Emerald and defeated the champion for the very first time. But what happened after that? Absolutely nothing! The truth is, the vast majority of Pokemon games have the exact same ending. You go through Victory Road, beat the Elite Four, beat the champion, the end, you're done. This is so disappointing because we have seen Pokemon get their endings right. Blue had a nice plot twist, where the champion was actually your rival. Same basic setup, but at least they put some thought into it. Colosseum also had a nice ending, where the mayor turned out to be the head of Cypher in disguise. And the ending to Black and White is just downright beautiful. However, in my eyes, it's not enough. 4 out of 5 mainstream Pokemon games have the exact same ending, and that is just lazy.
Sir, finishing this fight.
Okay, before you all rage at me for putting Mother 3 on this list, please let me explain. I have absolutely no complaints about the final battle against the Masked Man. Mother 3 is on this list solely because of the ending cutscene. It goes something like this. By pulling the final needle, Lucas is supposed to be able to speak to a divine spirit of some kind, and ask it not to destroy the world. And how does this spirit repay Lucas for pulling the needles and releasing him? By destroying the world! Tornadoes, volcanoes, earthquakes, Mother Nature just goes all melee on itself. But then, on the end screen, you talk to characters from the game and they congratulate you for saving them. So, the world was somehow saved, even though it was destroyed, because Lucas released an evil spirit, but somehow managed to stop it from wreaking havoc, even though it did wreak havoc. You know what, just move on, my brain hurts.
Sir, finishing this fight.
So, you reach the foot of the volcano and stare up at the manifestation of evil lurking above you. You hijack a barrel and make your way up the side of the volcano. You reach the top, run out of barrel fuel, and end up flying into the manifestation's maw. Once you're inside, you find a pile of bananas. Yay! Oh, crud. Seriously, we have to fight them all again? Actually, no. The Donkey Kong series is infamous for its repeating bosses, but Donkey Kong Country Returns doesn't do that to us this time around. Instead, we get to fight something worse. Right out of nowhere, an evil tiki head appears. The other tikis throw bananas into it, and he proceeds to vomit on them. Yeah, he throws up on his friends. Then they morph into hands, and the battle ensues. The battle against Tiki Tong is difficult, but not cheap, which I do like to see in battles. Finally, after you defeat the beast, it explodes, and you are launched into space! Then you punch the moon. Never mind the fact that the force required to shift the moon and have it land on the Earth is more than enough to shatter bones. Anyway, the moon lands square on the head of the manifestation of evil, and it explodes, putting the moon right back where it was. Complete disregard for laws of nature.
Sir, finishing this fight.
I'll admit, the ending to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 is good conceptually. However, it's very poorly executed. The premise: Makarov is in a shopping center, and you will not let him leave alive. The first thing wrong with this mission is the use of the armor. I mean, think about it. The title of the game is Modern Warfare 3. When was the last time you saw army soldiers running around in armor? The armor essentially makes you invincible to enemy attack, thus ruining the sense of survival that comes with Call of Duty. The second thing wrong with this mission is the scenario. It is 2 men versus a small army. Or perhaps a better way to think about it would be 2 guns versus 200. Surely they could have scrounged up more people to fight what they hope to be the final battle. The third thing wrong is the use of the helicopters. Now, I realize that Makarov was trying to escape, so I can forgive the first helicopter. But why were there 2? When you shoot down the first helicopter, it crashes into the building and your armor is shredded. Question: how does one shred armor? The fourth thing wrong is... oh no, not another time crunch! Finally, when you get a chance to shoot Makarov, he runs away like a coward while the second helicopter kills your friend and nearly kills you in the process. After this, you chase down Makarov with no weapons and blindly jump onto the escaping helicopter. You stab him in the neck and throw him onto the street below. However, the helicopter then crashes. Somehow, both you and Makarov are still alive. Makarov has you at point-blank range when suddenly your friend shoots him because he somehow managed to survive being stabbed through the stomach. Wow, way to reuse good moments from your previous games, Microsoft! Since you have no weapons, you proceed to punch and choke Makarov through a series of quick-time events and annoying button mashing. Finally, you fall through the floor and Makarov is hung by the neck. Makarov's death is so unsatisfying, because if you didn't know any better, it would almost look like he killed himself in this scenario. Then you smoke a cigar. Yeah, I know that kinda ruined the moment, but I just had to mention that. Because, you know, smoking kills you. Yeah. Next entry!
Sir, finishing this fight.
I, being of sound mind and body, do realize the amount of negative criticism that my next statement will receive, and I accept all consequences thereof. Now, suck it up and deal with it, because I hate the ending to Conker's Bad Fur Day. Considered revolutionary by many, Conker's Bad Fur Day to me was appalling from beginning to end in story, gameplay, and humor. Yes, I hate the humor. But this is a countdown about endings, so let's skip that rage and move on. Your girlfriend gets shot, a xenomorph pops out of the bad guy, and you go up into space. You get a power suit, and then you go to face off against the xenomorph to get Barry's body back. Except that the xenomorph pushes Barry's body out into space. You then proceed to fight a laughably easy battle against the xenomorph. It has a grand total of 2 attacks, which are both easy to avoid once you've seen them. To defeat him, all you have to do is punch him a few times, pull a Super Mario 64, throw him out the open airlock into space. Okay, this joke is getting old. Repeat the process twice, and you've got yourself one of the worst final bosses I have ever seen. Then this happens.
Compromised. Oh, no! I thought still that was it. Oh, this is the end. Not to think it would end like this. Oh, dear. Huh? Hello? What's going on? Is this a joke? The game's locked up.
Really, Rare? You just obliterated the 4th wall in the worst way possible. Anyway, Conker gets the help of a software engineer, and he kills the beast. I'm still not sure why someone would choose a sword over a double-action shotgun, but that's beside the point. Anyway, a whole lot of characters suddenly show up out of nowhere, and somehow they know exactly what just happened. And what follows is the most ear-grating cutscene ever.
Long live the king. Yeah, long live the king.
Long live the king.
Yeah, long live the king.
Will you stop repeating me?
I'm not beating him.
Long live the king.
Yeah, long live the king.
Long live the king. Long live the king. Long live the king.
Yeah, the most annoying voice acting in the game, chanting the same exact phrase 15 times. Yeah, I counted. That's how much I hated it. Then, after the credits roll, Conker goes into a bar to drink his troubles away, which is exactly what he did in the intro to the game. Are you trying to say that Conker has learned nothing from all his adventures? Conker's Bad Fur Day was one of the most overrated endings in video game history. Don't believe me? Well, let's look at some of the comments on this footage. One of the most realistic and heartbreaking endings of all time? An amazingly powerful message? Tears came to my eyes? Standing ovation? The greatest N64 game in history? Its ending made the game
What the fuck?
Sir, finishing this fight.
Witches are awesome. Goddesses are awesome. Bayonetta is not awesome. Or at least the ending to it isn't. Truth is, I've never played Bayonetta before, so I can't say much about it. However, I can say that its ending sucks. You begin the final battle on a motorcycle riding up the side of a rocket while it is flying into space. Okay, first off, this scenario is impossible, even for a witch. Second, why is a witch riding a motorcycle in the first place? Okay, so you reach the face of the soon-to-be-awakened creator, Jubileus, and you free your sister. But then, Jubileus awakens. The battle against Jubileus isn't as hard as you would imagine, considering that she's a goddess. It's just incredibly annoying. Jubileus has 3 attacks: punching, shooting things out of her hair, and throwing galaxies at you. Her punching is easy to avoid while you're a panther. The things she shoots out of her hair do little to no damage. The galaxies don't do damage! All they do is turn you into a little girl. But the real kicker is how much health Jubileus has. Jubileus's super high HP means that the fight will go on for a very long time. Anyway, Cereza uses some sort of mystic dance to summon a giant hair monster to punch Jubileus and send her careening into the sun. Well, at least you get to kill Jubileus in a cool way. I mean, you don't often get to punch something into— oh, what the hell is this?
Unbelievable. We managed to stop this abomination, and it's still going to destroy the world.
Really? Jubileus is burning up inside the sun, but is still somehow alive? That's ridiculous even for something considered a goddess. Anyway, you have to go into the sun and destroy Jubileus piece by piece. Now, here's a question. If you knew that you can survive being inside the sun, what made you think that Jubileus couldn't? Okay, so now moving past the final battle, we have... what the hell is this? A dancing video? Why? Just Why?
Sir, finishing this fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event of the game. We bring you 12 3-minute rounds of boxing for the undisputed heavyweight championship of Donkey Kong Isles.
Nice setup.
Horrible execution. The fight against King Crusher K. Rool from Donkey Kong 64 is not as much a boxing match as it is a button-mashing bonanza. You have to fight 5 rounds against this guy, each one with a different member of the Kong family, and all extremely tedious, repetitive, and not even making sense. Where did those barrels come from? How is he throwing his own hand? Why is he fighting with a stage light on his head? Why are his toes making noise? And why is he invisible all of a sudden? Anyway, after you KO him for the 5th time and the fight is finally over, he's about to charge at you and take his revenge when... Okay, moving right along. Sergeant Kong comes in with a boot cannon or something, and he shoots K. Rool with it, sending him flying across the skies of Donkey Kong Isles. Then, after the credits roll, this happens.
Next.
Some sort of casting call for characters to be in the game or something like that. But wouldn't it make more sense if they showed this at the beginning of the game? I don't know about you, but I was ticked when I finally got 100% and was rewarded with this.
Next.
Sir, finishing this fight.
Yeah, you fight a robot instead of the real Andross. Pretty much everybody knows about the bad ending to Star Fox 64. The good ending is a whole lot better, right? Well, based on the construction of the question and the tone with which I asked it, we can guess that the answer is a big fat no. The so-called good ending to Star Fox 64 is actually far worse than the so-called bad ending. If you go through Area 6 to get to Venom, you start the level by fighting a rematch against Starwolf. Okay, that's pretty cool. This time, his ships have shields on them to prevent you from hitting them with lock-on attacks. This is supposed to make the battle more difficult, but personally, I didn't use lock-on attacks that often, so that didn't really affect my gameplay that much. After you defeat Starwolf, yes, you actually have to shoot him down this time, Fox decides to face off against Andross alone. Now that's another thing I don't understand. All three of your co-pilots are alive and are ready to fight alongside you, and yet you think you're better off alone. Ignoring the fact that Slippy, Peppy, and Falco do absolutely nothing to help you in boss fights, a decision like that is just plain stupid. Anyway, the fight against Andross begins exactly like the easier fight with him. That is, until you've destroyed his hands, and then this happens.
Only I have the brains to rule my life.
Oh, come on! We've fought our way through a giant malicious clam, a menacing lava monster, a massive desert creature, and a countless number of robotic monstrosities. And that's the best you could come up with for the final battle? The final battle against Andross's brain is annoying as hell, because Andross hardly gives you any time to attack him. Finally, when you do manage to kill him, this happens.
If I go down, I'm taking you with me.
Don't ever give up, my son.
Father?
Okay, hold on a second. The entire reason for Fox McCloud joining with Great Fox was to avenge his father's murder. However, now he's suddenly here with Fox? There are two explanations for why James suddenly showed up, but the game justifies neither of them. The first explanation is that James is still alive somehow. But if he is alive, where has he been all this time? Why didn't he show up until just now? And why did he leave seconds after his son saved the entire Lilat system? Personally, if I had a son who did that, I'd be pretty dang proud. The second explanation is that James is a guardian angel of some kind. However, this doesn't make sense either because nothing particularly supernatural happens in the rest of the game. Now, this sort of thing would be explained by most games shortly after the fact, perhaps during a cutscene, but not Star Fox. The player is simply left to wonder exactly what just happened as the credits roll and you fly off into the sunset.
Sir, finishing this fight.
The next spot on this list goes to my favorite game on the PlayStation, The Legend of Spyro A New Beginning. Now, I know what you're thinking. If this is my favorite game on the PS2, why is it at the number 2 spot? Let alone on this list at all? Well, that's very simple. It has a horrible ending. At first, you make your way to the top of a tower and find Cinder, the main antagonist of the game. You then fight a very easy battle against her, only to have her escape with the final crystal, indicating that the fight isn't over yet. Okay, so far so good, right? Well, this is where it starts going very fast downhill.
There was something in her eyes, Ignitus. Something familiar.
Really, Spyro? 'Cause I didn't see it. Maybe if you'd done a close-up on her eyes or something, that would have made a lot more sense.
There should be, Spyro. You and Cinder share more than you know.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a plot twist! It turns out that Cinder was born from the same nest as Spyro and that they are essentially family! Cinder was stolen from the nest and brought to the Dark Master, who used her as his little puppet. Okay, don't get me wrong, I am not against plot twists. In fact, games would be a lot worse off without them. However, plot twists of this degree should never be introduced at the last second. At any other point in the game, that explanation would have given Cinder and Spyro an opportunity for character development. But because they decided to put it during the final battle, it just comes across as pointless.
If we come from the same place, why is she so...
Evil? Monstrous? Big? Sexy? Oops, did I say that?
What?
But why? What does this Dark Master want?
He wants to be freed from the portal of convexity, to wreak havoc across the realms.
Okay, so he wants to wreak havoc across the realms. The only problem with that is that they never tell us the motive. Anyway, you proceed to do a small bit of platforming in a psychedelic world filled with jellyfish. Yeah, jellyfish. Then you reach Cinder again, only to find out that...
You're too slow!
Next you fight a 3-phase battle against her, which I'll admit, the second phase and fourth phase of which are very nice and very fun to play. The third phase can be very annoying at times, however. Just land so I can hit you already! Then, after you defeat her, it somehow severs the Dark Master's control over her and... Wait, what? Okay, I realize that video games like Spyro are not supposed to be realistic. But how does losing the influence of darkness make you smaller? To that degree, no less! As the Dark Master is released, Moral Fiber gets the best of Spyro and he saves her. Never mind the fact that she's been trying to kill him for the whole game.
Yeah, that wasn't her fault.
Yeah, I know, but it just seems stupid. Anyway, then we fight the Dark Master, right? Wrong! You never get to fight the actual villain. What you really get is a vague and uneventful ending cutscene and an annoying monologue from Sparks. Yeah, if you ask me, the game should not have been called A New Beginning. It should have been called A New Ending, because it desperately needed one. If it hadn't been for the second and fourth phase of the final battle, Spyro would have definitely taken it for the gold. But who managed to beat out the Purple Dragon? Before we get there, let's recap.
Number 10, Same Ol' Same Ol'. Number 9, The Kinda Sorta Apocalypse. Number 8, They're called laws of physics for a reason. Number 7, Yay, he's dead. Number 6, Going AWOL on the fourth wall. Number 5, Psych! Number 4, A Heart Attack. Sorts. Number 3, Brainiac. And number 2, the incredibly ironic title of A New Beginning. Now, here it is. The worst ending to a video game that I have had the displeasure of witnessing.
I'm a hedgehog!
Okay, let's take this from the top. You've traveled the globe searching for the 7 world rings. You've found all 7, and now you're entering the castle of Eraser Jin to negotiate peace in the world. You get there and, surprise! You've been tricked! Jin has actually been controlling Shara this entire time and wants to use the 7 world rings to destroy the Arabian Nights.
That's right. Eraser Jin's master plan is to rid the world of stories. What kind of villain wants to destroy stories?
However, Sonic has influenced Shara, and when Jin tries to kill Sonic, she puts herself between them and is killed. Never mind the fact that genies are supposedly immortal. Anyway, he uses the power of the World Rings to transform into an ultra-powerful being known as Alpha Layla Wa Layla. Then Sonic somehow gains some of its power too, and transforms not into Super Sonic, which is awesome, but into whatever that thing is. The battle against Alpha Layla Wa Layla is underwhelming, to say the least. He has a large number of attacks, but all of them are easy to avoid, despite what he boasts.
It would take a miracle for you to avoid my attacks!
Nope. All it takes is the hand-eye coordination of a Slackoff to do that. As if that weren't enough, the game literally tells you how to defeat him at points.
You can always fill the soul gauge by moving the Wii remote.
Gee, I wonder if I should fill up the soul gauge by swinging the Wii remote. Anyway, after you defeat him, this cutscene graces your television set.
I shall not be defeated. If you defeat me, I will simply return again and again. I am immortal. I cannot be vanquished.
Yeah, but Shara was immortal. Look what happened to her. Worst evil laugh ever.
That can't be. That's the...
Okay, so then it goes on to explain how Sonic got the lamp, but I still don't understand it, even after watching this scene multiple times.
The genie of the lamp is supposed to grant 3 wishes. Am I right?
Yes, you are right. But I really doubt he'll be itching to grant them.
I will never grant any wish from the likes of you.
See, Sonic? Told you. He's never gonna grant them for you. Oh, there you go. Wishing anyway.
Bring Shara back to life!
My body! My body is...
Wow. The cliched surrender of control over the body. How wonderful.
My second wish... return the Arabian Nights to the way they were, so that the world can have its stories again!
Now, why would you waste a wish on something like that? The world will live on without the Arabian Nights.
My third wish!
Anyone want to guess what Sonic's third wish will be? Here's a hint. It's the most stereotypical final wish for any genie-related story.
Eraser Jin, you shall live out the rest of time trapped inside your lamp as you were in days of old!
Shara, I know you're there! Please stop him!
Do you really think that she'll be so keen to help you after you killed her?
We can start over! The 2 of us! I swear! I swear it! The world is mine! I cannot be denied by that filthy rat! Why?
Because you're a genie. This is what usually happens to genies after the wishes have been granted.
I told you, I'm not a rat! I'm a hedgehog!
Really? I never would have guessed! Oh, what are you crying about?
Shara, will you grant me one more wish?
Ixnay on the wishing for more wishes.
I wish for a mountain of handkerchiefs.
I'm sorry. I just can't take that seriously. I mean, if you could wish for absolutely anything in the world, why would you wish for handkerchiefs? In conclusion, Sonic and the Secret Rings had tons of potential, but failed to realize any of it. The build-up to its final battle was a huge letdown, its final battle is easy to the point of being childish, its ending cutscene is extremely poorly written, and the entire ending was unsatisfying and did not leave me wanting more, making it more than qualified to be the worst ending in video game history.